I'm Gordy Tupper. Welcome to Check Around. We have a very interesting show coming up for you today. It's sort of all about taking care of yourself and taking care of your family and maybe taking care of your finances too. We're at Kettle Creek Station in Langford. Say that 3 times quickly. We'll be looking at some of the new homes out here, the quality of construction, and we'll be looking at a few other things too. V. Cooper has some stuff on the show today. Let's get going. Kettle Creek Station in Langford, and look at all the different styles of homes you can choose. These are just 4 of them along here. Les Biola, this is your development. This has been your baby. When did this all start?
Actually, I bought the property in 2003, and we sold our first house in 2008.
And at the end of this, there's going to be a whole bunch more houses.
Well, there's going to be a whole bunch more, that's right. We kind of adopted the alternate of the Henry Ford theory, where you can have any color other than black, or as long as it's black. We're saying you can have any floor plan you want and any color you want.
Well, now that's the one thing I'm seeing out here. There's 4 of these housing styles here you can choose with different exterior colors and finishes and all. But then on the other side, 4 more styles ranging anywhere from about 1,200 and some odd feet up to 1,500 feet.
And then there's another 4 styles on the boards there. So we've got a total of 12 different floor plans. And we've got recommendations for interior finishing and exterior paint colors. But honestly, the customer is the king. They can pick whatever they really want within the 4 styles.
Yeah, well, I mean, they come into the sales office here, and in fact,
the award-winning
the award-winning sales office, and they can literally build their own home with the selections you have here.
They can, and our staff are great with working with our buyers, and we work our way through to make sure that they get the house that they really want to have.
Now, one of the big deals, of course, is that the houses are very affordably priced.
They are. We range from $350 to $450. Our most popular price seems to be about $375. And it really comes down to finishing, the interior finishing. We don't believe that you have to build a really big house in order to get a really nice house. And that's the whole premise here is dress up the inside of your house so that you're really proud to call it home.
And the nice thing is you're sort of out in the country here. I mean, you're not like the boonies or anything, but you're out in the country, and it's just a wonderful neighborhood.
We are. We're kind of a brand new neighborhood, and the interesting thing is that we're only a 10-minute walk from city center in Langford, so we're really close to everything. And the lake literally is minutes next door. I'm
hoping we can go down there later and check it out because you know, it really is an integral part of the whole area, I guess, here. Now you have townhomes coming up now too, I understand, something different.
We actually are just in the final stages of our design work, and I expect that we'll be under construction next month, and our first units will be available for sale in March, April. And that's where we're going to move our new award-winning sales center into the townhouse project.
Now wait a minute, are you going to move this or are you going to build a new one?
No, we're going to build a brand new one.
Oh really?
Yeah, this one here, we're just going to take it off and then sell this lot.
Okay, I'm intrigued by Kettle Creek Station, and I'm just finally getting the hang of how to say it because it doesn't roll off the tongue when you try to say it 3 times quickly, Freddie.
Well,
but anyhow, I do want to find out more. I'm going to go outside, and I understand Rachel has a pretty good spin on quality and construction.
She's top of the food chain when it comes to looking after the houses. She's great.
Thanks, Les.
Okay, Gordy.
Right now we're out in front of one of the 3-bedroom homes, and Rachel is with me. Rachel, you were the project manager for all of this.
Well, yes.
That's a big job.
It is a big job, but it's really rewarding because it's always great to see nice houses come out of the ground and sell them to happy people.
Now, nice houses indeed, quality houses, that's what people are looking for. Yeah. Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, we do try to go a little bit of the extra mile to provide quality and long-term durability to these homes. It's a big investment for people, and it's good for them to know they have the comfort that the house that they've purchased is going to last.
Some houses get built in this area, and they're not made for our West Coast environment. How about that?
Well, the new building codes really enforce that now because of the area where we live. We have to provide a lot of details that keep the water out of your home and keep the house nice and dry and rot-free.
That's pretty important around here.
It's really important in our West Coast environment. If you notice, all the houses have roof overhangs, which is the first step. There's flashing details over the windows and at the trim that shoot the water off. And in behind this concrete fiberboard siding that we use, which is very durable and a wonderful long-term product, there's actually strapping. So if any water were to get back there, it runs right down the back side of the siding and comes out. So it never contaminates the inside of the house. So the house is always it's like having a raincoat on your house.
Sounds to me like you've given a little bit of thought to this.
Well, lots of people have. It's not just me. But it's something it's a detailed process, and the Langford building inspectors come to make sure it's done right as well. So it's a group effort.
Let's go inside and have a quick peek, and I want to find out a little bit about this home warranty program too. Rachel, I have to tell you, I really like the layout of these homes. This one is split level. I like the split level design, which you don't see too much anymore.
No, you don't, and it's really been popular with all the demographics, because if you have kids, they can go downstairs, or for people that don't really want too many stairs, it's not a big flight to go either way. So it's really worked well.
We were talking about quality construction out front. What is this anyhow? This is a pretty major looking piece.
That's one of those things you won't see unless you show up during framing of your home. This is a seismic hold down. So the building code requires you now to do a lot more earthquake protection for your home. And we build that into all our new homes. You can get as many as 20 of those in a house now, as well as a lot of plywood walls, so that you have the comfort of knowing that your house is safe during an earthquake.
Now, speaking of comfort of knowing your home is safe, the warranty program.
The warranty program is a really important part of the whole home ownership process. We're now covered for 2 years for workmanship, labor, and material. So if your tap breaks or a light switch doesn't work, you can come to us and we can fix that for you. 5 years is for the building envelope that we talked about outside. Yep. So that's any water damage that comes into your house due to faulty workmanship or materials. And then 10 years on the structure. So the Home Protection Office gives the homeowner lots of really good materials. Obviously, you have to take care of your home, and there's tolerances because they're made of timber. They're going to, they're going to move a tiny bit. There's going to be a little bit of shrinkage, which is normal. But most houses, they're made of really good dry timber. They're finished properly. They're inspected, and the need for a warranty is pretty minimal, but it does give you that extra bit of comfort in your house that you are covered. And the warranty guys that we do work with are really reasonable, and it's just a really great program.
Rachel, thanks so much for this information. That's great.
Oh, good. Well, hopefully it's useful.
When you think of Kettle Creek Station, or maybe it's me less, I was thinking of houses and roads and buildings and what have you, but this is a little different.
This is all part of the lifestyle that we've been telling everybody about, Gordon. We've got this trail that we're on here is a 5-kilometer walking trail. Goes all the way around Langford Lake.
Langford Lake is right beside us, but you can't quite see it from here.
Well, that's the beauty of the fog today. I was glad you brought the frog, because now the people actually
the fog. I brought no frog.
No frogs, just fog. But you got to come here to see it. But it is actually spectacular. It's a beautiful lake. Only electric motors allowed, so it's very peaceful. And people just love it. And we just last week installed a new boat launch for the lake.
Well, actually, I hear there's kind of 2 boat launches, really. One for bigger boats and one for ones you can carry.
Yeah, there's the canoe launch, as we call it, which is just behind us here. And then the boat launch itself is further up West Shore Parkway. People are just loving the way it's set up, and everything about this place is about lifestyle. So you've got a 5-kilometer trail around the lake. You've got 700 acres of watershed at your doorstep, hiking trails everywhere, biking trails everywhere. It's just a great place to live.
A question I have to ask, is there really a station at Kettle Creek Station?
Well, everybody asks, so why is it that? So Kettle Creek is named after the geological formation called a kettle, and the creek that runs into it, obviously. And there's ultimately going to be a station for the new rail transit right on our doorstep.
Oh. You know, it really is nice out here. This is something I haven't experienced at all before, and you couldn't be more in tune with nature out here, could you?
This area here, this grassland, wetland, is just absolutely beautiful, teeming with birds. This walkway has so many bird watchers on it during the day, you wonder if there's a convention going on.
So people who want to know more about Kettle Creek Station, and there's a lot of people looking for affordable homes right now, what would their first step be?
First step I would suggest is go to our website, kettlecreekstation.com. We're in most of the media, and obviously you could come out the highway and turn left on West Shore Parkway and come and see what we've got.
I know you have an award-winning display center there that sort of delineates everything there is to know.
We just won the CARE Award for Best Show Suite, or Show Home actually, and we're really excited about that. And even more exciting is that we're just starting our townhouse project next month, where we're going to roll out 56 townhomes on the site, and that's going to create a whole new living adventure.
Kettle Creek Station, off the Island Highway at some road that I can't remember.
Trans-Canada Highway, turn left on West Shore Parkway.
West Shore Parkway.
Just before Goldstream Park.
Les, thank you very much for this.
Thanks, Woody.
I'm V. Cooper, and I am here with Dr. Mark Lupin from Cosmetica Laser Center. And Dr. Lupin, you are one of the leading dermatologists in Canada, and yet you chose beautiful Victoria to set up your office.
Yes, well, we've been here for 15 years and just love the place, and really just wanted to establish a laser center and a dermatology center that would help the community.
And yet you go all across the country. You're teaching other doctors, especially about Botox and lasers. And
Yes, well, I think just after years of experience, you've been around long enough, and people will use me as a reference when physicians and patients, when there are new technologies, and also teaching advanced techniques to physicians to try to elevate the standard.
so we're pretty lucky to have you here. And I know the treatment we want to talk about right now is something I didn't realize was out there, but it is out there: excessive sweating.
Yes, well, most of us use antiperspirants, so I think affects us a little bit. But 1 in 5 people in North America, 20% actually, suffer from excess sweating. And you'll know if you're a sufferer because it will bother you on a daily basis. It may be socially embarrassing. Can affect professional situations as well, with staining of clothes.
Right, of course, that would make it quite visible, wouldn't it, if you're often seeing someone with sort of stains under the arms and stuff?
Yes, and over a decade ago, we were established as a center of excellence on Vancouver Island, specifically to train and teach and help patients with this condition. The first thing that happened after antiperspirants was use of Botox, and then there's surgical options, but people would like to have a non-surgical way to have sort of long-lasting improvement to that condition, underarm sweating.
And you were telling me that originally people were using Botox and still do.
Yes.
But this treatment is actually permanent as opposed to Botox, right?
Yes, well, Botox works really beautifully, actually. It lasts about half a year. So there's nothing wrong with that, and it's nice to have quick relief, and I still will use Botox for sweating. But there was a need, I think, to have something that's more long-lasting, and this only takes 2 treatments, rarely 3.
Wow.
And you have more of a permanent fix to the problem. And so, it's just another way to tackle that problem, but this time you don't have to have repeated injections with Botox, and many patients don't need antiperspirants.
Amazing.
It's very exciting.
So the patients must have seen amazing results.
Yes, well, we were chosen as a centre in Canada early on to help develop the device. So actually, as Canadians, we can be proud that we were involved in the development of this mirror dry device. And was very also wonderful that we did 2 or 3 treatments, but we followed patients 2 years after. And not many studies will follow that far beyond, because we really wanted to see that it's a long-lasting improvement.
And it is.
And it is, yes.
Fabulous. So
Yeah.
can we see it?
Yes, so let's go.
So now we're in the treatment room with Dr. Lupin, Nikita assisting, and Charlene, who has very kindly agreed to come on in and show us what happens. Charlene, you have had this treatment done, and it was only 2 treatments?
That's correct, yes.
So tell me about what it was like for you before to have excess sweating.
Before, I suffered from excessive perspiration. I found on a daily basis I had to apply antiperspirant or deodorant twice a day. I felt constantly self-conscious about wetness on my clothing.
And you were saying it's one of these things that, you don't know till it's gone how much it's affecting your life.
It does impact your life. You just never feel confident when you're always worried about sweat stains on your clothes or odor or just not feeling free.
And how did you hear about Dr. Lupin?
I'm a patient of Dr. Lupin's, and I got wind of the trial and I was very excited to be part of that. Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, Dr. Lupin, tell us about how the procedure works, because it has worked for you, right, Charlene?
It's worked wonderfully for me, yes. A definite change.
Awesome. All right.
Well, it's we're all individuals, so we all have different size underarms, and so treatment is tailored for each person. It takes 2 treatments about 3 months apart, and that's what Charlene had. The great thing about the trial is we did 2-year follow-up after the treatments were finished to show that the results and the benefit persists. So the way this is done is that, and we're not going to do the treatment because Charlene's already
right, she's had them, but you're going to show us how it would work.
So normally we would have her just lift up the arm. We have little templates that show that are different size for different underarms, and the point of this is it's applied like just a little temporary marking. And when we remove this, we would normally see these little markings. And what this does is it allows us to apply the treatment heads to have a very even treatment, so that the entire area where the sweat glands are will be affected. And we're essentially removing sweat glands with this non-laser, non-surgical treatment.
Which to me is amazing that you can do that in 2 procedures. And Charlene, was it painful for you?
Well, it wasn't comfortable, but they do administer freezing.
Agent?
Yeah, definitely. But hands down, worth it, without question.
Yeah, so that's quite true. We numb up the area. So at this point, we're finding patients are really having no discomfort at all during the treatments, because we're able to numb up very nicely.
Right.
So after that template's applied, this treatment head is applied for a few seconds. And what it is there's a little vacuum, and then it cools and heats and cools in a cycle. And then it's moved along to the next area on that little grid. Afterwards, there can be some temporary swelling. There could be some bruising, but really there isn't necessarily downtime in the sense it's non-invasive, so people can return to their normal activities right away.
Right.
And the other cool thing is besides the sweating is instantly reduced, so it's an instant benefit, but it also can remove excess hair and help odor.
Wow.
Which antiperspirants don't necessarily do that. So we find it's like a hat trick of triple benefits there.
Right, right.
So thanks very much, Charlene, for showing us.
Fascinating. And again, you've seen remarkable results with patients doing this procedure.
Yes, well, interestingly, every single patient in the early trial responded. So we've had no one not respond. Which is amazing, because usually there'll be 90%, but this is 100%. And so, I mean, Charlene's a testament to that.
And you're the only one doing this in Western Canada, sort of, is that right?
Well, I was the first physician in Canada with the device because of the early study, and we can be, I said earlier, we can be proud as Canadians we're involved in those things. Now it's FDA approved, so it's in the States and also in Canada. I think I'm the only physician in BC. But gradually there'll be more and more physicians in Canada that are adopting it because it is a great thing to offer our patients.
And again, 20% of people affected by this, so it's probably one of those things where as soon as you learn that this is out there, it's like, oh, I want to have this possibly done.
Yes, I think people need to know there's an option. It's just if you know there's antiperspirants and you sort of know there's a surgery, but what about something non-surgical that's got a lifetime sort of benefit?
Exactly, that's permanent. Charlene, thank you so much for being part of this. And I know that your big reason for being part of it is because it worked for you, right?
Definitely. Very, very happy with the results. And I would definitely do it again without question if I hadn't already had it done.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. And I guess go to the website, which is
cosmetica.ca.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you want more information. Thanks, Dr. Lupin, Nikita, and Charlene.
Thank you.
We're now faced with what's long been a staple of science fiction. An orbiting junkyard of cast-off space debris.
Hayward IMAX Victoria, they have a new movie now, and it's called Space Junk. Now, it's not that Gravity one with Sandra Bullock. It's about real space junk. And this is the gentleman who discovered, well, did he discover space junk, Don?
Well, I wrote a paper back in 1978 that predicted that we would have this type of environment. And And as a result of that, we started a program at NASA, the Orbital Debris Program, and I was the chief scientist there for quite a few years before I retired.
I hear it's called the KETTLE syndrome. I mean, it's like yours.
Actually, the press invented that term as a result of the paper, and it just got sort of caught on. Back in '78, I predicted that there would be these random collisions between satellites and would produce a lot of debris as a result of those collisions, and that would control the future environment and would be a hazard to all spacecraft that have flown. But as a result of the program that we put together, we found out that it was worse than that, because things were exploding in Earth orbit, people were dropping off things, and all of that was serving as targets, essentially, for the other debris to run into and create even more.
Okay, it sounds kind of scary. I did see the movie Gravity with what's her name and what's his name.
Right.
But is it that serious? I mean, how much junk is there up there?
Well, in a way, it is that serious. In Gravity, it was really a futuristic movie, and it would have to be a lot worse for anything to happen that frequently, like it did in the movie Gravity. But it's slowly happening to all of our unmanned satellites right now. It's just a very slow process. About once every 10 years, you'd expect a collision to occur currently, and that frequency will increase with time, and it would especially increase very rapidly if we were to abandon some of the safeguards that we're taking now in terms of not limiting the amount of debris that we leave in orbit.
So if you have a geosynchronous satellite, if that's the correct word for it, I mean one that isn't moving, so to speak, in space, how fast would the junk be coming at it at?
Well, in geosync, it is moving. It's just rotating at the same rate that the Earth is rotating.
Which is probably pretty fast.
It's pretty fast. It's around 2 or 3 kilometers a second at that altitude. And geosync is one of the regions that we're worried about, but it's not the region that we're worried immediately about. The region that's most crowded right now is actually low Earth orbit, which is about 1,500 kilometers and lower. We have about 2.5 million tons or kilograms of junk orbiting the Earth at that altitude.
All different size pieces, big and small and otherwise?
Well, of course, the biggest one's the space station. But there are other unmanned satellites that are as big as a bus that are orbiting the Earth, and there's upper stage rockets that have been left in orbit because they were used to put these payloads into orbit.
I bet a little bolt would do you poorly if it hit you at 20,000 miles an hour or something.
Right, yeah, at the lower altitude you're orbiting at 7 kilometers per second, and because these things run together sort of at right angles to one another, their collisional velocities are around 10 kilometers per second.
Don, I'd like to talk about this all day, but, well, we can't. However, people can come and see the movie, Space Junk. Come and see it here at IMAX Victoria.
Great, thanks.